8 true stories, each with one detail that changes the whole picture. From a bagel shop offer to a giant Messi statue, these are the kinds of facts that feel impossible until you hear the explanation. A football scholarship offer landed at a bagel store counter. Not on a field, not in a stadium, but beside stacked bread and a register. Melkart Abu Jaud was on shift when the message came in. He was doing normal work, with flour, paper bags, and a busy counter around him. It was his first Division I college football offer. The odd part is the setting. A routine job became the place where the call or message reached him. That moment turned an ordinary shift into a new path toward college football. One message changed what the rest of the day meant. The counter stayed the same, with bagels lined up under bright lights, but now it held the start of a football future. A New York City building was legally treated as a hospital, even with classrooms inside. Inside, there were classrooms and a dormitory, not just patient rooms. That made the label feel wrong at first glance. The key was classification. A building can be defined by its primary function, even when it also serves school-like and residential spaces. So the legal category stayed hospital, while the rooms inside served different daily uses. One label covered more than one kind of space. Outside, the sign in the windows could suggest one thing, while the hallways held another. In a city building, the name on paper can outrun the rooms behind the door. Erykah Badu recorded Mama's Gun in an apartment that had once belonged to Jimi Hendrix. A soul album, in that room, changed the whole mood. Badu was already known for Baduism and for shaping neo-soul in the late 1990s. For Mama's Gun, the setting mattered as much as the session. The apartment was not a purpose-built studio for the album. It had a famous past already built into the walls, because Hendrix had lived there before. That made the recording feel tied to a real landmark, not just a rented room. The album carried the weight of a place people already remembered. So Mama's Gun sits inside a story of sound and space at once. A modern soul record, a famous apartment, and a microphone in the same room. At 15, Ebenezer Harcourt played for Nigeria's national team. He became the youngest footballer to do it. Most international players are adults with years of club football behind them. A 15-year-old is still at the start of that path. The key is selection. When talent stands out early enough, a national team can call up a teenager before the usual age line. That call-up turned Harcourt into a record-setting debut at the top level. The age gap made the moment unusual before the first touch of the ball. For Nigeria, the story ends with a teenager in a national jersey beside senior teammates. For Harcourt, it begins with one small shirt and a very large stage. A 70-foot Lionel Messi statue appeared in India. It stood taller than the people around it and stopped the tour in its tracks. It happened during his GOAT India tour. The visit was built around Messi as a global football name, not a match on the pitch. The statue was a public tribute, oversized on purpose. Instead of a trophy case, the tribute became a landmark people could walk past. That changes a sports appearance into a place people can visit. The tour leaves behind one huge object, not just a memory. For many fans, Messi's face became part of the landscape. In India, a football tour ended beside a giant statue and an open sky. Dawn Hope's first Hollyoaks episode opened with an all-black cast on screen. It was a soap episode, so the cast normally carries the story scene by scene. Here, the unusual part was the full cast choice, not a single cameo or background role. That made representation part of the episode's structure, before one line of plot mattered. On mainstream television, the screen itself became the point, with an ensemble cast waiting on the set. Giorgio Moroder was back at number 1 after 15 years. The song was Right Here, Right Now. The chart was the US Dance Club Songs chart. It tracks which songs fill club floors and rise with DJ play. Right Here, Right Now carried the comeback. It became his first song in 15 years to reach the top there. That long gap made the return stand out. A veteran producer could still climb back to number 1 on a dance chart. The comeback linked 2 eras through one chart line. It ended with a simple rise, from the lower grid back to number 1. Fluid Ounces had a third studio album that people kept hearing about, but almost nobody could easily find it. Fans passed the album name around, but the search kept ending at blank shelves and missed copies. The answer was scarcity, not mystery. When something is hard to get, rumor can grow faster than the release itself. So the album began to feel unreal to listeners who only heard second-hand stories. Some fans started treating it like an urban legend. In the end, the legend sat inside a worn sleeve, passed from one set of hands to another. For most fans, that sleeve was the closest thing to proof. Which one surprised you most? If you want more clear, strange, real-world stories like these, subscribe and leave a comment with the fact you'll remember first.